Why these 10 nations are no longer accepting US visas. Full 20-minute script. In a world of shifting alliances and turbulent diplomacy, global travel has never been more complicated. Today, we explore a growing trend that's raising eyebrows in Washington and beyond. Why several countries are saying no to US visas. Whether due to strained foreign relations, internal reforms, or retaliation, these decisions carry weighty consequences. Stay with us as we explore 10 nations that are rejecting or restricting US visa applicants, and what it means for global diplomacy. Welcome to News Nexus, where we decode global affairs for you. Make sure you subscribe and stay informed with our weekly, in-depth reports. American citizens have long enjoyed visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to many countries, but as US foreign policy has evolved, so too has global sentiment. Several nations, for reasons spanning politics, economics, or security, are now restricting or halting visa issuance to Americans. Diplomacy plays a major role in this. Visa access is not just a formality, it's a signal of trust and cooperation between governments. Over the years, the US has imposed various travel bans, sanctions, and military interventions. In response, many countries have either reciprocated or taken a stand. Add in the effects of September 11th, the war on terror, COVID-19, and recent geopolitical tensions, and the result is a noticeable decline in US passport privilege. Let's begin with Iran. Iran has not had formal diplomatic relations with the United States since the Islamic Revolution of 1979. Since then, the two countries have treated each other with suspicion and hostility. While Americans technically can apply for Iranian visas, it's only possible through third-party travel agencies and only for tightly controlled guided tours. Independent travel is virtually impossible. The process is slow, opaque, and frequently ends in rejection. Tensions over Iran's nuclear program, proxy conflicts, and sanctions have further pushed the door shut for American visitors. Next, North Korea. North Korea is perhaps the most secretive nation in the world. Since 2017, the US government has banned its citizens from traveling there without a special license. The policy came after the tragic death of Otto Warmbier, an American student who was arrested and imprisoned in North Korea. Even if one secures special permission, North Korea itself rarely welcomes Americans. The regime considers them enemies, spies, or symbols of imperialism. Diplomatic ties are non-existent, and any visit comes with immense risk. Venezuela, once a close trading partner of the United States, is now another country closing its doors to American visitors. After the United States recognized opposition leader Juan Guaido instead of President Nicolas Maduro in 2019, diplomatic ties were severed. Embassies closed, flights were halted. For US citizens, applying for a visa is extremely difficult and must often be done in a third country like Mexico or Spain. Even then, approvals are rare. The Venezuelan government routinely accuses the US of interference and regime destabilization. Libya presents a different kind of restriction. The country has been in a state of chaos since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Today, various factions and militias control different parts of Libya, and there is no central authority that processes visas consistently. American travelers are viewed with suspicion due to past NATO interventions and perceived CIA activity. The US State Department strongly advises against travel to Libya, and Libyan authorities generally do not issue visas to US citizens unless for official humanitarian or diplomatic reasons. Syria's case is even more hostile. Since the outbreak of the Syrian civil war in 2011, the country has become a battlefield for global power struggles. The United States has supported opposition forces and accused President Bashar al-Assad of war crimes, including chemical attacks. In return, the Assad regime has effectively blacklisted Americans. There are no diplomatic services, no embassies, and almost no possibility of securing a Syrian visa with a US passport. The government views American travelers as threats or spies. Russia is next, and its situation is more recent and deeply complex. Following the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, relations between the United States and Russia reached Cold War-level lows. Sanctions, asset freezes, and diplomatic expulsions followed. In retaliation, Russia has limited visa services for US citizens. Travel applications are delayed, rejected, or lost in bureaucratic limbo. Tourist visas are often denied without explanation, and those who enter the country face surveillance, interrogation, or worse. Russian authorities openly accuse the US of funding subversion and unrest. Belarus, a close ally of Russia, has also placed tight restrictions on US citizens. Following the controversial re-election of President Alexander Lukashenko in 2020 and subsequent protests, the US condemned the election as fraudulent and imposed sanctions. In response, Belarus suspended many bilateral agreements, including visa facilitation. American journalists, activists, and researchers are routinely denied entry, and regular travelers must undergo strict vetting and visa applications through embassies in third countries. The government views American visitors as potential destabilizers. Cuba's visa restrictions have swung back and forth over the decades. During the Obama administration, relations thawed, and American travel resumed under specific licenses. But under the Trump administration, restrictions were reimposed, and many diplomatic channels were again frozen. Though Cuba still issues visas to Americans under certain conditions, it no longer provides the warm welcome it once did. The US travel ban prohibits pure tourism, and Cuba's government enforces limits in return. Today, American travelers must navigate a maze of restrictions from both governments. China hasn't outright banned Americans, but its policies have become significantly stricter in recent years. Following a wave of diplomatic disputes, trade wars, and allegations of espionage, China has dramatically reduced the number of student, journalist, and work visas issued to US citizens. The Chinese government views many American institutions as potential threats, and visa applicants now face extended background checks, interviews, and in some cases, outright denial. Those who do enter are subject to digital surveillance, facial recognition tracking, and government scrutiny. What does this growing list of restrictions mean for the world? First, it signals the end of American passport exceptionalism. Where once the blue passport opened doors globally, it now triggers suspicion or rejection in many places. Second, it reflects rising global polarization. Countries are choosing sides. Trust is eroding. Diplomacy is weaponized. For students, tourists, journalists, and aid workers, the consequences are personal. Many now find themselves unable to pursue academic, humanitarian, or professional opportunities. Travel, once a means of building bridges, is becoming a casualty of political rivalry. From Tehran to Pyongyang, from Caracas to Beijing, a new message is emerging. Access is no longer guaranteed. Entry is no longer a right. It's a reflection of global power dynamics. As the United States confronts a multipolar world and increasing resistance abroad, perhaps it is time to rethink how diplomacy, respect, and cooperation are prioritized. Because when nations close their doors, it isn't just governments that suffer, it's people. If you found this report insightful, consider subscribing to News Nexus. We're committed to bringing you clear, informative perspectives on global affairs that matter. Let us know in the comments what you think. Should the US take a more conciliatory approach to global diplomacy or stand firm in the face of rejection? Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay aware. This is News Nexus.